everyone, this is Felicia from Felicia by the Seasons. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. In today's video, we are going to be doing a DIY project and I'm going to show you how to make your own fabric pumpkin. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my list of supplies that you will need in order to create this fabric pumpkin. And of course, you're going to need some type of fabric. So the fabric that I'm going to be using is this super soft microfiber cloth. It's called Driver's Choice, and I purchased this from the Dollar Tree. And it comes looking like this. And you can usually find this fabric on the end caps in the dollar store over by the automotive section over there. And I chose this particular fabric because it is so soft and it makes a great pumpkin. You're going to also need some kind of sewing thread, some heavy duty sewing thread. So what I'm going to be using is just some simple white yarn since my pumpkin's going to be white. Of course, you're going to need your scissors. You're going to need some scissors, or you can use your little Fiskars rotary blade cutter, but I'm not using mine today because I need to invest in a more heavy duty one because I made a lot of ribbon and so it's dull now. I am going to be using some of this jute twine as well. I also have some tree branches that I just got out of my yard. I also put some additional pieces up here. This is just some threading or ribbon. It actually came off a pillow or something that I had. I also have some more pieces of fabric just in case I want to do something spectacular. You're also going to need some type of batting of some sort. You can go out and purchase this from, your craft stores, from Walmart, places like that. Or you can just use a simple pillow like I did. I used an old pillow that I'm no longer going to be using. And I've got some of this little leftover ribbon here. And I've also got some greenery pieces here that I have just laying around and that I have extra pieces of. You're also going to need a pencil or pen or some sort so you can do your tracing and everything. So let's go ahead and get started with this process. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is you need a shape. So I'm using this handy dandy plate charger to make my shape. Now you can use a dinner plate, you can use a bowl, you can use whatever that you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to go ahead and open this up like so. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. Go ahead and open this up. And sounds like my chicken is ready here. I'm baking some chicken today, so that's my alarm. It's not a fire alarm, just my oven alarm. So you're going to open it up and it's going to look like this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down flat on the table, or you can use a little board or something. So let me be more organized here. Let me get my little cutting board out here, and I'm going to place this down on the table flat. And I'm going to take my fabric. I'm going to lay this face down. It really doesn't matter which side that you want. One side of this is a little bit more fluffier than the other side if you're going with that particular look, or you can flip it on the other side, which is a more smoother type look. I've done it on either side and it really doesn't matter. So you're going to lay this down flat. You're going to take your plate or whatever you're using and you're going to put this face down. And then you're going to take I would suggest a pencil to use it, definitely not a marker. And you're just going to simply trace around this entire round charger or plate or whatever that you're using. And you're just gonna trace around the whole thing, okay? Just like that. And then after it's traced, you're gonna remove that, of course, And you're just going to take your scissors and you're just going to go in and you're going to cut out your circular shape. Just like so. And you're just going to continue cutting until you can cut till you have your complete shape. You don't have to be perfect with this, but try to keep it as neat as possible because you're going to need a nice edge when you get ready to sew it and everything. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to cut this around just like this. And it's good to have some sharp scissors. Please don't use dull scissors. It's just a headache. Just use some sharp scissors. Go ahead and cut all the way around until you have completely cut your shape out of your fabric. This fabric is so soft. It's a microfiber fabric and it is so soft and spongy. And if you have small children and you make these pumpkins, they're going to want to touch them and play with them and squeeze them all the time. I guarantee you. That's how soft they are. And who knows, you might want to do the same thing. Okay, so now we have come to the end of cutting this out. So we just discard this piece. And so this is what we are left with. We now have our complete circle, as you can see right there. Okay, so then you're going to take your needle, and in my case I'm using yarn, and you're going to take your fabric and you're going to stick your needle in here and you're going to do little small stitches, stitch by stitch by stitch, until you have made it all the way around to the side. So fortunate for you, I've already started one, and this is what it will look like once you have completely stitched everything around. And those little specks are from me using that blue ink pen. I probably shouldn't use it, but that's okay. And I've had some people say, wow, that looks like a little shower cap. So you want it to look like a little shower cap when you get finished, okay? So you'll be able to pull it together after you stuff it. So after you completely sewn everything all the way around, you should have an opening. So now you're just going to take your batting and you're going to start stuffing your pumpkin. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I like my pumpkins to be very stuffed and fat. You might use a little bit less. This is to your taste and only for your preference. So use what you want. You can use as much as you want. You can use as little as you want. But you want it firm enough so that you will get that nice round shape. Okay? So you're going to keep on stuffing it and you're going to manipulate it. So make sure you take your fingers and manipulate it so that you get some of that stuffing in the corners. You want some in those corners. So I'm just going to add some more batting here. And I'm just going to keep stuffing, and make sure I fill up those edges there. Okay? And my needle is still attached. This is where my needle is here. As you can see, that's my needle part. And this is the other part here. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two pieces here and I'm going to pull them together. So it should bring it together. So you're just going to pull, 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 and it's going to look like that. Okay? And you know what? Although I used a blue ink pen and I've got it smeared on my fabric, it still looks cute. And it's going to be covered up anyway, so it's really not going to matter. So you're going to pull that until you get a little small. You're going to leave a small little opening now. And let me see. Do I think that this is fluffy enough? Do I got this fluffy enough? So I'm just adjusting it and make sure that it is fluffy like I want it. And just adjusting that because I want that shape. I think I need a little bit more right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that batting in there. And I'm just going to stuff it in there because I think it's It's a little bit short over there. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you get your batting in there and stuff it. And look at there. If you look at this, it's already ridging up. You see these little ridges? The ridges are automatically coming into your fabric. And that's what you want. So I'm going to pull this like so. And then what you do is you want to take your tree branch, or you can use, if you got an old wreath, your grapevine wreath, you can snap off a branch and put that on the inside of your pumpkin. Now, I've already done one and cut it. And so what I did was I cut it to size the way I wanted it. And I took my jute here and I just wrapped it around multiple times, around like so. I wrapped it around here until it was completely covered up. And this is what it will look like when you finish. And it's going to take on the shape of your branch and how much you wrap this around. So it's going to be, yours might look different, but I want mine to look like this. I want it to look kind of fat on the top, a little crazy, a little bit right there. And so once you've got that done, and then I'm just testing it out again and make sure it's fluffy like I want it. And then I'm going to pull this through. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the opening right here. So I'm going to push it right down into here and adjust it to where I want it. See how that looks? Ta-da! And so I'm going to pull this yarn. Okay. Make sure that I got it down in there. And I really don't need to add anything to this. I can add some hot glue to this if I want to, but I don't think I really need any. You know, it's going to stand on its own. It's standing just fine on its own. And I'm just going to pull, I'm going to pull this real tight and try not to break this. And I think I just broke it. Let me see. I hope I didn't break it. But you want to be careful. Okay. So once you get it like you want it, go ahead, and I feel safe enough that I'm going to go ahead and cut my, pieces here. I feel safe enough to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut those off. And now I'm just going to simply tie this together like so. And I think it went through my fabric there. Okay, I hope you can see this because this is quite a few steps here. And if you hear some dogs barking in the back, those are my two little fur babies. They're outside living their best life. And there's a little cool breeze today, so they're having a good time out there without me. And so we've got that pulled tight. So now what we can do, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and cut this off because we're not going to need this now. So cut that off. Stuff that in there. And voila, you have your own fabric pumpkin. Look how cute. Look how cute. And you can embellish this any way that you like. You can glam it up. You can glam it down, so to speak. You can add some foliage to it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon here and I'm going to see, can I make me some leaves out of this. So I'm just going to take some of this fabric. Now I could have easily took this particular leaf here and I could have used this and put it right there if I wanted to. But to me, that's a little bit too green for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the shape. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut a piece off. And I'm going to copy the shape of this. And I'm going to set it right here on my little handy dandy ribbon here. And I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to use another pair of scissors here. And I'm just going to come straight way in and cut that shape out. And make my own little leaf, my little burlap looking leaf here. Or I could have freehanded it. I think I can cut good enough that I can freehand my little leaves or whatever, but I'm just giving you an idea of you got some leftover ribbon laying around the house and you had some pieces left of how you can easily see. And I've got me a little burlap leaf here. Let me make sure I got this whole thing copied right. And how did I do that? All right, so okay, and I'm just going to go back in and I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit, and I can add that right to my pumpkin. Look at that, look at that. I love it. I'm gonna try to do one free-handed here, or let's see. But anyway, you get the gist of it, and you would hot glue. Of course, you would hot glue this down, or what you could do is you could take you some ribbon. I can take some ribbon here, and I can tie it on to my little pumpkin here. And I like the ridges in this. And I can fluff this any way that I want to fluff it. And we can put a little bow, a little simple bow on this. Tie it on the side. Let's go ahead and cut that. Ooh, we've got something going here. And we can add our little leaf here. And voila. Look at her. Isn't she adorable? And I will be using this little precious pumpkins in one of my vignettes that is coming in one of my upcoming videos. And I'm just going to show you one that I've already done. I'm going to, after I finish this video, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this leaf, and I'm going to put another leaf on the other side. I'm going to cut that out. And I'm just going to show you some that I've already made. And I have shown this in one of my unboxing videos. This is one that I made last year, and I used it out of the buffalo check pattern. And I used that white yarn, and I added some green leaves to this. And I used a different color jute. I used some white jute when I did this one. I also did a more fancier one, which I used some turquoise teal fabric. I added some pearls, I added some leaves. I just took some threading here and ripped it and just tried to make it a little bit fancy. And I also did another white one last year. Look at that one. And where I did the stem, and I used a grapevine stem underneath this and wrapped it with the jute here. And then I just used some of my sassel pieces here and just try to make it a little bit fancy and so forth. And that's how I created that one. So I hope that this video inspires you when you are decorating and you don't have the pumpkin that you're looking for and you need it to be a certain color. This will be a more economical option for you, where you can come in and you can make your own fabulous pumpkin for the fall season. Look at that. I just love that. I love her. And I've enjoyed spending this time with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending this time with me. And I hope that this video was inspiring to you and that it helps you, jumpstart you on your decor journey for the fall season. So until the next video, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and share my videos, because I'm trying to grow my channel, guys, and it will take you, your friends, your family, and your co-workers and neighbors to help me to do that. So until the next video, happy decorating.